What is going on, All-Terrain Nation? Whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, it does not matter what you drive because this is your All-Terrain Nation. I am your host, David Boyd, and we have a quick show tonight because I didn't realize I had a previous engagement with my daughter's softball team. So I'm a softball coach besides, YouTuber and fellow idiot. So, oops, I'd scheduled it for 8 o'clock at our normal time, and then it seems to be screwed up. But here, we'll do this. How about that? So we can actually see what we're talking about. See, I can't even do that right today. But what is going on? It is time, man. It is time. What's up, Nicholas? What's up, Okram? Hopefully you guys are doing well. There, finally it fixes. I'm a little delayed with you guys, but yeah, man, it's been a little under the weather this week. It's been kind of hard to want to report things. I've still tried to get out some stuff. We got the Bronco horsepower ratings are out, and I don't know if you guys are. I'm excited by those because I thought usually when we see the Bronco, what they were saying rating it at, I think it was 310, is what they initially said at the launch, and then they just never updated this stuff, and it was getting to be a little aggravating because it was like, hey guys, what are we doing? What are we? They had all these numbers come out, and just never gave us much after that. And every once in a while people would ask, but they kind of been pretty reserved with everybody asking the actual horsepower numbers because I think people were just satisfied at 310 horsepower, and I do want your feedback on that. So what's up, Rumesh? It's been a while, dude. What's up, Joe? Guys, be sure to smash that like button, please. You know the drill. It does help us do things. But let me pull this up here real quick, and we'll go through the specs here from old Bronco Nation. So here we'll just go ahead and transition this, maybe. There we go. All right, so we got some Bronco Nation stuff, and once again, Bronco Nation seems to get more than most when it comes to Broncos. So I do like to reference them from time to time when it's like good referenceable stuff. But so they changed when I did my initial video this afternoon. They had changed it up. Who knows? Somebody probably at Ford was like, "No, go ahead and release everything," or I don't know if they were just trying to nickel and dime us for information. But finally, they released this technical specifications for the 2021 Bronco. But right at the get-go, do we think we're getting a 21 Bronco? I'm coming to the conclusion that it's getting a little scary. Because I had somebody quote me. Well, they said they quoted me on a. Let me get this off just a minute. I had somebody this morning hit me up and say, like, "Hey, Dave, did you see where somebody was quoting you as you were not getting a Bronco anymore?" And I was like, "Well, that's news to me." Because I did on one of my last videos, I talked about getting a Gladiator to hold me over till Bronco comes out. And I think in this market, I'll say it once again, I think in this market, you can buy a brand new vehicle and almost make money on it to sell it. I really think that, like, to once you own it 6 months, that you're going to come out even, if not like maybe a little bit better. The market right now is just nuts. And I mean that. It's like nuts right now, and I don't know if you guys see it where you live, but where I live here in Middle Tennessee, like literally, if you can get your hands on a nice pickup truck, you seem to have gold. And so I think I don't. Now, what do you guys think? So if I were to buy a Gladiator right now, there's one I'm actually looking at. It's a 2021 Rubicon Gladiator. It's that real kind of dark maroon. I forget what they call the color. Just a pretty color, man. I wish my Bronco came in this color because it is like fantastic. But would you guys rock a Gladiator over the summer and then in the fall if you could trade that Gladiator in towards the Bronco I'm buying, just convert that over and be done with it without really much penalty. What would be an acceptable loss for you, or where do you think the deals would go right now? Because commodities are I hated to get into this. I did not want to see this happen, and it's starting to happen. It's not microchips by any means that's monkeying with the system right now. It's literally metals. Aluminum is getting scarce. I was talking to somebody on the West Coast that's in the auto industry about this, and they were telling us they were having a hard time getting aluminum. And, of course, all these cars are all wanting to switch to aluminum. On the Bronco, I believe all the fenders are aluminum, doors are aluminum, hood's aluminum. I think the tailgate is still steel. You guys may better know than me on that. But what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments there. Do you here? I'll pull literally. I'll pull the one up that I'm looking at, and we'll go over it. And because I do want y'all's opinion on this, because at no point am I giving up my I'm not giving up my spot in line on my Bronco for just to be like, oh, the way this person had made it out was like I've almost damn near a trader of Bronco. And look, guys, I'm not brand loyal to any of them. I like the Bronco a lot, and there's a lot of Ford things I don't like. The new F-150 is just okay to me. And that's would be the next thing, and maybe the Raptor's interesting, but after that, there's nothing about Ford that's interesting to me. The Bronco Sport, I did a review on it. It's an acceptable vehicle, but it's not something for me. If I have to be honest. There's your website. All right, so give me just a second here, and I will pull this up, because like every good dealership, they got to throw out 16 different coupons that I don't want. Let's see. Just bear with me. This wasn't on the agenda, but I you guys know me by now. I get a little rambly, and let's see. We'll pop up. All right, here we go. All right, so here's the one I'm looking at, and but once again, this is all just me talking right now. There's nothing out new in my driveway, and I'm actually car poor right now. I have the BMW, and I have a company vehicle, and that's about it right now. So I need some vehicles in the driveway. But so here's what I'm potentially looking at. Once again, this is just potential, guys. I'm still, because this other person's kept telling his audience that, like, 2 parts of his video, which, I mean, he does nice videos. I'm not going to be a jerk about the ordeal. He complimented the channel, which is nice. But no, see, look, coupons. I don't want your stupid ass coupons. But I really think that you could get into a Wrangler, especially. But like everything right now, Wranglers are hard to find. They're getting harder to find. Let's see. Burke says I would rather drive a Colorado ZR2 or the Bison. But the problem with this is, so Gladiator's in year 2 of production. The JL series that it's based on is only 3 years old. It's still a pretty hot style of Jeep, and it's a truck. And I'll be honest, I could since I've let my lease on my Titan go, like I could use a truck around here. Not having a truck, we've noticed, has been like, oh, man, we really could use a truck. But the wife and daughter hate this thing, like, with a passion. I think, like, this is a Rubicon, so it's a little bit better than the larger tires and stuff than normal, but still needs 35s to make these things look decent. Yeah, the Jeep should not have forced that 5-foot bed into this thing. They could have put a 4-foot bed in it and kept pretty much identical specs to the 4-door, and I think they would have still sold as many as they're selling now. I don't think a 5-foot bed in this is like everybody's like all pumped about that. But the color on this thing is one of the prettier car colors I've seen right now. Now here's the question. Okay, so it's final price $53,290. Yesterday, they've changed this. Yesterday I could have saved $6,000 on this thing. But there was two rebates on it, another $1,000 rebate on top of these. But do you get I've priced these similar packages to just a normal Wrangler, 4-door Wrangler, and they're not offering any money on Wranglers right now because it's a hot vehicle for Jeep. They don't have to, and they're getting harder to build, so why would you? But this is the one thing that kind of scares me with Gladiator is clearly it's not as popular as the normal Wrangler, but because they're offering $5,000 off of it, and I've versus the normal Wranglers, am I going to take that loss if I were to trade it in? But this is all speculative, and we're just talking right now. But so this is the one I've been looking at. I still think Jeep, the Rubicon, and pardon my voice tonight, I'm a little scratchy. I think the Rubicon package that Jeep still the dashes look a lot better than Bronco, just the coloring and stuff, the excitement of a level of that. But so that's kind of where I'm at with this. Let me know in the comments there what you guys think. But I had somebody who watches the show kind of was giving me some garbage this morning and was like, dude, I about fell out, and I was like, well, just bear with me. I'm not buying. Even if I do buy something, I can afford to have 2 cars in the driveway. The channel will take care of that. That's not a problem. But anyway, so here's Ford's technical specs on the Broncos. A couple things stand out to me. Well, for one, Bronco Nation's got to shove their big logo. At least it's not dark. The first time Bronco Nation tried to do this, like, you could not read any of the information because they wanted their logo so involved. Oh, man, Monster. You guys know the drill. Monster, where you at? Free advertising there. But let's see, the 2.3-liter EcoBoost and the 2.7. Obviously, if you watched my video earlier, the horsepower difference is nuts. And the 2.3 is not bad. The option that you can get, let me see if it's on this one here, because they had a different deal up that I copied and put in today's video. Where's our motor options? I don't care about towing. Wait. Let's do this. Let's visit the forums. There it is. All right, so 2.3-liter EcoBoost is rated at 300 horsepower. Now you got to use premium. These are turbos, and turbos you should, if you don't know, turbos you should use premium fuels anyways. It just burns better. And you ordered a turbo because you wanted the optimum power that you can get. And why waste out now? And yeah, I know fuel can be expensive, but let's be honest, these Broncos are not. I know some people will use them as daily drivers, but these things aren't made to be 100-mile commuters by any means. But that 300 horsepower for that 2.3-liter is pretty freaking rad. I like that a lot. 275 with regular fuel. That's still the 4-cylinder's almost, with premium, it's better than Jeep's 6-cylinder. But the 332 foot-pound of torque, those are great numbers for a 4-banger. And then it's geared, it's geared properly, which is something I want to talk about on that in a minute. But the biggest thing is what everybody ordered, and that's the 2.7 EcoBoost. And look at these numbers. Look at that, 330 horsepower. And like I said earlier, I believe Ford was just saying over 310 horsepower. So I have a feeling this is a tuned engine. Ford Performance said they were going to do something. The 2.7 I've seen anywhere rated from 305 to maybe 330s in there, depending on which vehicle they put that in. So 330, that's pretty pumping good, man. I was very surprised by that number. I kind of thought they give you a number, and since they haven't told you much, I was kind of thinking, well, they're just going to hold to that 310. But hell, the 4-cylinder is almost 310. But the biggest number for off-roading, guys, if you're new to off-roading, torque. This means everything. You can't get up hills if the engine don't want to go. And if you ain't got no ass behind that engine, you ain't getting up there, man. And a lot of I'm talking out of my ass at the moment, but I think the Jeep is 285, something like that, with the 6. I think it's been a while. Of course, now Jeep's got 15 different options you can get if you want the hybrid, which is kind of cool, but I don't see it being practical in the trails. But even the 2.3 liter, man, is 325 foot-pounds of torque. That's nutty. That's great. Those numbers are freaking amazing. And they should be commended for that. That's that they would do that. But once again, I think they knew they had to come out. They had to come out looking better than the Wrangler did. And I think obviously Jeep and Ford are going to have nice battles for years to come, and they're gonna constantly battle over that. The only thing that worries me with Jeep is there's talk that obviously the V8s are on their last lifeline, and either the Stellantis develops some engine tech with these smaller engines, or they just want to be hybrids. And I don't see electric vehicles working out at the time frames that they're trying to do them right now. What 2030, I think is what a lot of companies have said. It's not that far off. And I just don't think the EV tech and the battery tech especially is going great. But you need a lot of you need a engine or a battery that's they need to rate it for 500 miles that you actually get 380 out of. And that's for off-road use. So I think we're a little bit off on that just yet. But let's see. You got a couple questions here. If you don't need to take the top off, then there's nicer trucks to get. Well, Burke, part of the thing of that is I want an A and B. I do want to have a Wrangler in the driveway by the Bronco at some point, because I do want to A and B these things together a lot. I would like the wife or whoever's with me to take one and I take the other, and we just constantly battle these things together, and just not to see who's the better vehicle, because that's all in the eye of the holder. Like if you're a Ford guy, you're never going to say the Wrangler is better. And if you're, a Jeep guy, you're never going to say the Ford is better. I give up on that argument all day long. But let's see. Send the numbers to have initially just people putting regular unrendered fuel on Broncos. Let's see. They have initially. I guess I'm lost at your deal there. But anyways, so what's a couple things that stood out for me? Let's see. The compression. 10-1 on both of them. That's pretty. I won't say standard, but that's right in turbo. They're usually high compression engines, so nothing there. There was some gearing that I did stand out with me for a minute. The wife, who is from Michigan, was happy that the vehicle's being built in Michigan, and I'm happy that my 2.7 liter was built in Ohio. Go Buckeyes. So there's the heart of my Bronco will be a Buckeye, and the outside is well, we won't say that. That team up north. But here's something that stood out to me. Now, obviously, you got a 6-speed. One's a crawler gear over here if you get the manual transmission, which is only available in that 2.3. Now, I was kind of early on. I was like, I like a stick shift. I don't want in my off-road vehicle. I don't want a stick shift. But in the 2.3 with the horsepower that they're kind of talking about now, where do you stand with that? Because 300 horsepower, man, and especially with that crawler gear, dude, that's pretty cool. Dude, no worries. I'd have some whiskey with me right now if I didn't have to go coach a softball game. But the 10-speed automatic. So this is a little surprising to me that you're getting. They're just putting one transmission in this for the automatics. I thought it might be geared slightly different, but it doesn't seem to be. So that's where you're going to notice the. If you drove each one side by side, you'll notice a little bit of giddy up and go difference. But other than that, I think you're fine. I think the biggest thing learning the horsepower is if you want to put 37s on your Bronco. I don't think you're going to notice much. I don't think it's going to be. Normally, it's a deterrent of like you lose a lot of horsepower-y feel. I think in this case it might be like going from the 2.7 to the 2.3 ish, well, somewhere in between there, and you're never going to notice it. So let's see. Axles, nothing to write home about there. Breakover, that's all depending on what tire size that you're getting. Let's see. And once again, pardon my nose, guys. Oh, here was oh no, that's not it. This is normal A and B, everything side by side. This is by the way, this is a sheet Ford should have had out back in December. I understand maybe not the horsepower, but this is a sheet that should have been out. All right, so here's one thing that stood out to me. So if you're getting the Sasquatch package, you're getting these 315 70 17 tires and wheels, 17-inch wheel there. But the biggest thing that stood out to me is this number right here, 8.5 foot wide. Now, a lot of companies like to stick with the down at the lower end here. You can see the 7 to 7.5 wide. Why? Because they don't need. They're running a 16-inch tire or something like that. They don't need a wider tire. But from the factory, that's 8.5. It's going to allow you to put 37s on there pretty easy. And you're not. I'm not talking like you don't feel like you're really spreading the tire apart to make it kind of get on there like at an 8.5 wide wheel. That's pretty impressive. So I did like to see that. Obviously the tires and all that we know the same, but so a lot of people who were like, I'm gonna get the Badlands with the 33s and then I'll just add 35s on it. There's certain things you are getting. You definitely are getting like the wider wheel. Yeah, they're probably all look the same. That's neither here or there, but that wider wheel for off-roading, especially if you really want to buy this thing to go play with and be your off-road toy, and you want to dump 30, say you want to put a 2-inch lift on your Bronco right away, and go with 37s. Once again, that matters right there. So just keep an eye. I've said many times that I'll probably have a couple different wheel packages and bumper packages because I want to try out a lot of stuff with mine. If I get it within this year. But overall, I've said many times the tires, I don't like the tires on these things. I'll run them probably for a few weeks just to kind of give my initial impressions. But other than that, no, I think I'm going to go with KM3s. I really do think I'm going to put the ones that you've seen on the red 4-wheel parts Bronco. I think that's kind of the setup I'll end up running because I hate to say that. What's up, Tim, with Pickup Truck and SUV Talk? Thank you, sir, for that super chat there, buddy. But I think I hate to say that 4-wheel parts Bronco is going to be close to what I do. Unfortunately, like the wheel, I like the fender deletes. I'm looking at it. It's on my background right now. That's how much I like it. It's my background on my computers, but. Other than that, nothing big here was on this sheet. Nothing really big stood out. There was no other than the horsepower. There was no like wow moment because we pretty much know all the wow moments now. If you've seen one in person, you've got a good idea of it. I will say I think under the engine bay they could have done a little better job at making it look a little nicer. And maybe it's just the final production versions we see. You'll have a nice plastic cap over the engine bay. But let me look here real quick. I can't think of. I've read over this pretty good. I don't think anything really stands out. The biggest thing that stands out to me right now is the plant issue. And where do you guys stand on the plant issue with the Bronco right now? Everybody's having, my hometown plant here of Nissan in Smyrna, Tennessee. They are creeping cars right now. They're trying not to idle the plant, but it's looking that way because they're projected. I think truck line is 200 a day right now, which is nothing in the scheme of things. And then I think second shift, I don't think they have a third on truck line anymore. But I want to say that they're at 100. Like it's a turtle's pace right now, and everybody is having, unfortunately, the same issues. And once again, I think for a lot it's the microchip issue, but I think overall it's the when these furnaces for making metal, man, You know, I don't think they completely shut them down, but I know there is a little bit to ramp this stuff back up. And I've been expecting some COVID problems like this to happen. I was hoping that the auto manufacturing world had kind of protected itself on this one, but it doesn't seem like it did. Mr. Robert Hendrickson, what is going on, sir? Welcome to the video, and thank you for hitting me up this morning. And that was the first thing I read, man, when I got up. I was like, Robert is calling me out. So no worries, Robert. I once again, if you're just popped in, I could have both Jeep and the Bronco in my driveway. Would it be the wisest decision? Probably not, but I could afford it. I just don't want to. But anyways, Tim with Pickup Truck and SUV Talk. Tim, if you're on here, I'm curious what your opinion is of the Gladiator. Could a person own a Gladiator for say 6 months and turn around and trade it in for a Bronco and not be hurt? So Tim, if you're with me, I answer that question, sir. I'm curious of your opinion about that, and like everybody, if you're in this video, I'm curious of your opinion. Once again, I'm not brand loyal. I mean, I love Nissan, don't get me wrong, but at this moment, I'm not. There's nothing they're doing that's exciting me right now. I do plan on taking a little closer look at the Frontier because my rant last week, I think I went hard at you, Joe. Or who was it? Maybe I think it was Joe. I went hard at my disgust of Nissan right now. So I will take an honest look at the vehicle for you guys, like I try to do with anything that's in the driveway. I will say I've got some BMW content coming up, which I know is not super exciting for the channel, but I think if you're ever, I don't like to buy new cars. So the idea of me buying the Bronco new is kind of like, I don't really want to, but obviously I still want a kick-ass SUV. So, and then even the idea of like me and Kelly were discussing the Gladiator purchase today, and we just A and B and talking finances and everything. I don't know, Tim. If you're there, I'm desperately waiting for your comment on that. By the way, Tim. But anyways, Robert, that guy I don't even remember the guy's car on his car channel. But I've watched a couple of his videos, and he's gonna get there. He's 600 subs or something like that, and he just needs to he needs a mentor like I had with Pickup Truck and SUV Talks. What he needs. Some of his videos are hard to watch with all the flashing and everything going on in the background. Let's see. Where are we? I'm going to double check this before I let it go. But I was surprised at how many people were kind of giving me shit. I had some emails, and Robert there had posted on one of my videos that because I have plans to build these things. So it's kind of exciting. Now, speaking of exciting, since the world is kind of lightening up a little bit, maybe we're all just taking a breath and being like, oh, okay. I don't ever want to say that I know he has a Mustang. He doesn't really seem like a car guy either. He may be. I've not watched enough of his videos to, I guess, judge him. But in the world we live in now, everybody seems to be kind of mellowing out a little bit. Now it's summertime. The whole COVID thing is backing off slightly. It's still, if do what's best for you and your family. By the way, I don't care one way or the other. If you're pro shot, you're not pro shot. I just don't care. I'm not a medical channel, but we've got auto shows trying to kick back in, and the Chicago Auto Show, which is normally in February in windy Chicago, obviously. Will be I believe it's in July. Don't hold me to that. June or July. And I'm thinking about going up for the day because I think Toyota will have released the Tundra by then, which I'm interested in checking that out. You're badass. I think there's going to be some cool cars to see. Plus, I get to see some of my auto friends I haven't seen in well over a year since the last Chicago Auto Show, and maybe make some new friends. But I would be interested if you guys are interested in me making content from the Chicago Auto Show. Now, granted, I think access to a lot of vehicles, I think it's going to be a little different than has been in the past. I believe Detroit's already said they're not doing anything for the year, which that one's a tough one for me being a newer guy to get into. I'm curious if Tim here thinks that what's up, Mike Garcia? If the Texas State Fair will be around. I have a feeling it will be because Texas is wide open now. And then I'm going to try to, in October, be in Austin for a pickup truck roundup thing wherein try to have some fun there. So that's a couple of the plans for this year. Obviously, last year kind of screwed up everybody's plans, but for the channel, we would have been out doing a lot more, things with people and such. But so I am curious about that. Obviously, like I was saying earlier, the BMW, I've got some content I'm going to create on that because I do think I was trying to remember what I was going at. So I do think there's value in the channel checking out used cars. Sorry, I had a text message. I think there's value in cars like these older BMWs, Mercedes, Infiniti, Lexus, stuff like that I do want to bring to the channel. And hopefully you guys like it. I'm in the middle of buying some more parts for the BMW because I do want to refresh it a little bit. I've got some new dash pieces for it that just looked worn out. If you watched that video, if you watched it, I appreciate it because only like 200 people have watched it. And that's one of my more proud videos. I have to say, like, I took time with that video, and sometimes if you do YouTube, sometimes you can put your heart and soul into a video, work it hard, like really take your time with it and do things the way you should, and you'll get 200 views. You can, what's up, Chris? You can kind of not half-ass it, but you can kind of rush through some videos, and then I'll get 20,000 views. And it's like such a deterrent to actually do your job right, but it is what it is. But that particular video is it's kind of like that for me. I'll throw a link up there if I can find it real quick. If you guys are interested in me bragging about my my wee little video, but I once again I do this because for the love of cars and stuff, and obviously I want. Damn it, close player, come on. Let's pause that. No, goodness. When I need Danny here. That's what I need. Danny helps me once again where I can sort of there we go. All right, so let me get you the link. I can edit on the fly here. So let's see, paste. There you go. If you want to watch the video that I'm all proud of. But so on that car, I do have some things coming up where I will be. There's some new trim. There's some outside trim pieces we're going to put on the car. I was at Discount Tires the other day, talking to them about some treads on it. Because if you don't know, BMW, the newer ones, come with 4 tires, and that's it. You get no spare because they put run flats on these things, which is kind of a bummer. And we're having a couple problems with some sensors, some those dreaded TPS sensors, the wheel sensors. Typical, expensive car stuff that I guess if you can afford these things new, you pay for that tech that trickles down to the littler cars eventually. But anyways, well, howdy, Chris. Let's see. Speaking of Texas, finally saw a Bronco in person. Mike, what did you think of that Bronco, man? Once again, pardon my nose if you hear that. I was very impressed when I saw him in East Tennessee. I was very impressed, like sitting in them, checking them out. Once again, I know somebody commented. I think it was Robert. I still think that the dash just one of the things. The longer I sit with this vehicle and think about it, like there's just certain things that don't make each trim stand out. And I know I fussed about the the grab handles and all that, and the particular trim colors. But I just feel like they could have done a better job at making certain things stand out a little bit better, a little more flashy, a little more youthful looking. Beautiful. That's awesome, man. It's great to hear. Mike, what colors did they have there in Texas? I did read up that some of them were down there. And if you are one of the lucky Bronco people, they're doing the events for people that are buying them or have bought them. Which right now I don't know how they're going to do it. That's in Texas. I don't know how they're going to have people off-road them who's bought them when nobody. It's going to be like 7 people. I read something today that it was a poll on Bronco Nation or one of the other forums where they were like, well, I mean, how many do you think they're going to build this year? And it's like 20 for actual people to buy, somebody had said, and I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, the 33s aren't bad. That's the one in my video that I had posted. Let's see. Where I did my my first kind of ride around in them and stuff. It was on 33s. And I was very happy. Now, I've wheeled in 33s. It's not like horrible, but here's the video on that one if you guys want to check that out. But no, I was very impressed with them in person. Once again, I think eventually they're going to go down the path where they do the Heritage Edition and stuff, and you'll gradually get to see them learn where they need to kind of improve. But I know we talk a ton of Bronco, guys, and for those of my Nissan fans especially, I apologize, but it's the hot thing right now until Frontier gets out where we can actually test them and do a little reviews with them. There's just nothing to talk about on that. And Nissan, on the Frontier especially, kind of killed the buzz of it when in 2020 at the Chicago Auto Show, they're like, hey, here's the next heart and soul of the Frontier. And you're like, oh, cool, it's in the old truck. So what do I do with that now? But so it's kind of lost some of the excitement for me on that. I don't know about you guys. We should have a Tacoma. At some point we should start seeing Toyota testing the Tacoma. I know they're focused right now on getting Tundra done, but I have a feeling by fall you're going to start seeing some test mules of Tacoma floating around. Brett says, what's the Heritage Edition? So that's not the official name, by the way, either. Ford has not really said the official name of this, but it's kind of a throwback vehicle, Burke. It's hey, can we talk Audi? So, I would like to, honestly, though, talk a little bit more European cars from time to time. The Heritage Edition, it's going to be like a throwback vehicle. So if you saw a picture of, let me see if I can find it quickly for you guys. Let's see, because I know the picture will pop up. Images. All right, I knew it would pop up. There we go. Let's see if I can quickly make this happen for you guys. But the Heritage Edition it's like a throwback vehicle of sorts. And they're going to offer some kind of just old 60s style colors. There we go. So as you can see on this one, it's a white roof, the white pillars, the sports bars. They're not crash bars, they're sports bars because legally they cannot call them crash bars. But the interior is all whited out on this thing. They called this, and a lot of people were calling this the Nintendo version for some reason. But the trail sights are all white, the door handles are white on that cactus gray. It's just a very 60s throwback looking vehicle, and they're going to do some of that. Even the wheels that they're going to put on them are going to be kind of throwback wheels, old steely looking wheels on these things. So that's what that is, if you're curious. But they're going to 22 is when they said they were going to do that. So they had a lot of people that like that vehicle. Let's see. Burke says the Silverado ZR2 mules are showing up. They are, but my buddy over at Pickup Truck and SUV Talk, Tim Estrethal, had reported that, or I believe he's reported that they are on hold right now. That the Chevy was going through the perfect storm for COVID. They just came out of the union was holding out, so they were already vehicle shortages, and then on top of that, and then a month and a half, 2 months later, you're shutting your plants down, and poor GM with Chevrolet and GMC, man, they're in a world of hurt with these their trucks right now. So that's why I think we haven't. I think it's one reason why we haven't seen a lot of cool news from General Motors right now is they just don't have really much to talk about. Now, obviously, they're in development of these vehicles, and they will test their mules out a little bit. But I think as far as my understanding is the 22s have been pushed back. So as far as GM, there's not been a lot of talk about there. Sorry. People trying to call me during a live. What are you doing to me, guys? I'm trying to do a live stream here. Let's see. That's still funny, Mike. Let's see. The Blazer. I actually, a friend of mine bought one of the new Blazers, and it's a black with that red accents where they're doing around all the badging and stuff. That's a good-looking vehicle. Now, what sucks calling it a Blazer was right when Ford drops this throwback Bronco. I've said this on these shows many, many times, man. There's a name, especially a solid name like Blazer, is a billion-dollar name. Just the name alone for Chevrolet is worth $1 billion. So if you have something like that sitting in your inventory, sometimes it's worth pulling it out every once in a while. But I think the timing is what sucks for these guys because – yeah, you got Bronco being thrown out there. Obviously Jeep's still kind of a retro, cool-looking vehicle. And then Chevrolet comes out with the Blazer that's so high-tech looking. And but I think what you're going to see with Blazer is, there's a lot of rumors that Corvette's going to have an SUV. And I think what you're going to see with that Blazer is you're going to see a Vette based around that. So, I think within the year you're going to see a Vette SUV, if not out, but I think you're going to see GM promoting that. But I think you're going to see it based on that Blazer platform is what I think you're going to see. GM quality has gone down, way down, Nicholas says. I don't know. I can't say much of their quality because we've had a few fleet vehicles. The old Colorados, before they canceled it for a bit, those 09 Colorados, those were garbage. I mean, garbage. My father-in-law has a Canyon, and he's not had any problems out of his Canyon, man. I've drove that several times. It's a nice vehicle. The thing that that platform, that Colorado platform and Canyon platform do for me is they feel like a car on the inside, though. Too much like a car. I want my trucks to somewhat feel like a truck. I just felt like in his GMC especially, it just feels so much like it's a great driving position, don't get me wrong. It just feels so car-like though. I don't feel like it's a tough vehicle on the inside, even though it's a very, very nice vehicle. Chevy messed up with the Malibu. Terrence, you want to go into that further? You talking about the old Malibus or? Burke says the Blazer should have been what the Bronco is. It's not like Chevrolet didn't know that Ford was doing something. And, we think some photos get leaked around us. They leak them back and forth to each other a little bit. They all know kind of pretty close what the other manufacturers are doing. There's no big surprises for them, but I agree, and once again, though, I just think that they were just knee deep in that nameplate with that style vehicle, and it too late to kind of turn around. I have seen some renderings of Silverados where they're putting the sport bar, like doing a roofless version Silverado, kind of like the old Suburbans where you could pull the tops off, or not Suburbans, the old Blazer. Excuse me, and those renderings look really, really cool, and I would like to see some stuff like that because we're definitely in a renaissance right now of either this is the last hurrah of gasoline-powered vehicles, or I don't know. It's just I feel like we're in a special time for some of these vehicles. where they before they just get too high tech. And now Bronco and a lot of these are super high tech. That's why the microchip issues and is hurting these vehicles. But I just feel like really we're in a awesome time for vehicles. Maybe the final hurrah of a lot of these. Let's see. I'm telling you now, it's time to bring back the Amigo. Come on, Isuzu. What's up, Dr. Detroit? Hey, Mike, I don't know if you're joking about Isuzu Amigo or not. Well, GM ruined Isuzu. Let's just be honest about that. But I spent 2 years in an Amigo and loved every bit of it. And it was just a two-wheel drive Amigo. The only bummer I had about it is that soft top. They never had an actual hard top option. And companies were making hard tops that they would make for it. And I bought one from a company in Chattanooga that just bought somebody's forms and were going to make their own. And after I put the little hard top on it, man, I loved that little vehicle. It's about as practical as a two-door Jeep, don't get me wrong, but I liked having the little hard top on that thing. The old Jimmys, my parents loved those old GMC Jimmys, man. The 80, I think they had an 89 through whatever the final version that they called Jimmy, four doors. And the old 80s, late 80s, early 90s Jimmys, and those old were the Chevrolets, the Blazers then too, the little S10 based ones, I can't remember. But those were tough little vehicles, man, and never got enough love. And still now, when I was at, what reminds me of this is when I was at the Bronco event a couple weeks ago, and they had the Bronco 2. Those style vehicles, like, I don't know if it's a rust issue or what it is. You just never see a ton of those cool little vehicles around anymore. And I don't know if a lot of them were just converted to little off road vehicles that got trashed, but that, and my parents had it had this straight six from the mid 2000s GMC Envoy, and that thing was a little hoss too, man. And I've seen some really cool Envoys where these guys were lifting them and stuff. They look really, really good, and a pretty nice in between full size and mid size vehicle for off roading. Let's see. Mike says I had a 2000 V6. I had a 92, Mike. And I loved that thing. I always loved the little pup trucks they were doing. I don't know if it had a name or not. I can't remember. That they did, that the Amigo was based on. I always thought, to me, that was one of the better looking little pup trucks back in the day. Back when the S10s and all that were really going, the Rangers and stuff. I liked that vehicle a lot. Yeah, the S10 Blazers had one in 03. Yeah, those were nice. We had a two-door, it might have been 1, 2, or 3, somewhere in there. I can't remember, Burke. That I had I'll see if I can dig a picture up of it sometime. The only thing that those that I didn't like that Chevrolet was doing was if they always tucked those wheels in, and so the outside of the body always looked tubbed, and the wheels looked like the spacing just always looked like it needed to be out maybe a couple more inches to look kind of tough. But no, those were great vehicles, man. That 4.3 liter Vortec engine. What a hoss that thing was, man. And that engine gets not a lot of love either. Isuzu won't come back to the States. Isuzu's barely a brand anymore, Mike. They really are. They're barely a brand. GM bought a controlling interest in that company and just ruined Isuzu, man. Suddenly, and I don't know if it was because Isuzu was in trouble and they were that's back in the mid to early 2000s when GM thought they needed to buy up everything to show up like they were really a profitable company. So they would buy up these little profitable companies so it made their sheets look better than they were. Let's see. Da Vinci says, did your wife convince you to go Badlands yet and get the 360 12-inch screen? She has not. I have thought about surprising her and trying to upgrade, but as right now, any changes, I think I can still make changes till my order actually goes through, but I'm too scared right now to do it. At the way Bronco is right now, I'm just too scared to make any changes to that thing that it'll just throw me out. I mean, there used to be the 6 deadly sins, now there's 4 deadly sins, and so I just don't know anymore what changes to make on that. But no, she really would like that sway disconnect on hers, or on ours, I should say. It'll turn into hers. Yeah, the 4.3 Vortec, dude, was a hoss of a little engine. Now, in today's numbers, it doesn't put out impressive numbers, but for the day, because, Chevy, what was it? They were putting a 2.8 liter V6 that was just, they were blowing up left and right back in the 87, 86, 87, somewhere in there, a little V6. And once they switched to that 4.3, man, was it a 2.8? I want to say it was. It was a 2.8 V6 because I think Chevy had a 2.4 4-cylinder they were putting in. That was back in the days when, I'm dating myself now. Those were the days where you could hardly tell a 4-cylinder from a 6-cylinder horsepower-wise. But, well, all right, everybody. That's about all the time I have. I apologize for not being at the normal time, but I didn't know I had a prior engagement, and I kind of want to. I may do something Sunday afternoon as well. If you guys want to, let me know. Reach out. Let us know here at the channel. I'm trying to get Danny back scheduled in. Danny's been serving our country, so he's been a little busy. And so that's where we were at with the news this week. Dr. Detroit, you guys hold tight over there and build us some kick-ass Broncos and train them people right, sir. And so from all things two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, you know the drill. It does not matter what you drive because this is your All-Terrain Nation. I'm your host, David Boyd. And guys, leave comments. If there's things you want me to talk about, let me know in the comments. You guys know how to get allterrainnation.com. I've got an email address there. Hit me up. I definitely want to steer the ship where you guys want to